that if we were to try and consider that we are reading and thinking at different paces, we could make it quite slow, right? Now, we could speed it up, but at some point, sometimes, the different type of class and the speed and the things you have to comprehend actually challenges us getting pretty close to a pretty challenging speed. Can you still follow the text? What if I bring it up to 500 words per minute? You follow it in your head? Should we take it up a notch? Kind of crazy, huh? Should we bring it up again? Is that kind of crazy? Now let's pause for a second, right? Let's say that maybe, right? But you can follow it. This is an app called Spritz that actually challenged whether or not you could change the paradigm of reading. This is an app that actually said, if we can calibrate and find the red letter, Spritz had an interesting idea. Can we find the core central letter that actually you reading on the word and you have that as the core central letter, you can actually read much faster. But then the question becomes too, whether or not, yes, you can see the words, but how much you comprehend it. So let's try to do this one more time. We are now at 700 words per minute. What I'm going to ask you to do is see if you can follow along with the text number 1, but then try and consider comprehension number 2. And this I'm trying to make a parallel to what we do in Harkness sometimes, that we are going quite quickly and there's so much to take in that sometimes we are following along kinda, but we're not actually making concrete learning. We're not like fully comprehending what we're doing. We're just trying to frantically keep up pace, okay? So, I'm gonna press play again. I want you to look through the words, see if you can follow the text. You can see all the words, but then in about 10 seconds, I'm gonna actually pause. I'm gonna say, how was comprehension, okay? So, let's try and consider this again, ready? What do you think?
I feel like I was comprehending every other word.
Yeah. Like since I'd already read it, it was a little bit of fast.
Yeah.
Can we make a parallel to, and let's imagine not even physics class, but can we make a parallel to sometimes how that relates to Harkness classes and other subjects? You do read things ahead of time. You do annotate them ahead of time. Has the pace of a Harkness discussion ever sort of gone quickly or gone in different directions to where you're sort of struggling to keep up pace?
Yeah. Even like, I've done a bunch of work with like how to facilitate them, like you can just go so out of hand with people building off, and then suddenly you're talking about like what someone had for dinner or something, or just like just completely not understanding. I mean, it gets you.
Even if it's on topic, like if it's going so fast that you have to put all your attention into keeping up, you miss the actual content, which is the same as that. If you're, like when it was at that speed, I was so focused on reading the individual words that I couldn't put them all together and get the actual content, like in a Harkness.
I think also,
also sometimes like I'll read something and I'll think about it one way, and then the discussion will go in like a completely different direction, and so I have to kind of like scratch everything I was thinking of and like find a way to like contribute and like build off of and not like understand what people are talking about.
And when things go really fast, like with this, you can't go back and look at the context of what was being said. So a lot of times, someone will try to talk about something and they'll miss, like people will miss the context of it because everything was just going by so quickly. Like you're in a train and you can't see what's on like outside, but you know it's there.
Or it's just someone gives like a text reference and you hear them explain the reference, but because they say it too fast, they like say the page over immediately move off, and you might know the specific quote, but you don't know the context into it.
I like what you had thought about in terms of a text. This text, similar to the Harkness, that when you're focusing on one word, you can't go back. And I feel like that sometimes in Harkness, that I would have thought about something and the time to contribute was maybe there, but then the conversation just sped along, but we can't go back. Or maybe even you wanted to contribute to an idea, but since then, 2 other people contributed to an idea, you're thinking about that, and you almost forgot about what you were supposed to contribute on the last one. Right? So, the idea of the cups is this idea of, can we try and alleviate that feeling somehow? Can we try and just quietly, subtly ask one another, like, while we're going, it's a little bit good. If we have an idea that maybe goes a little bit quickly, and we're like, ooh, okay, hang on a second, and it might take a little bit, like, if you kind of go, and I had imagined that we would progress through, right? That maybe if somebody thinks that we're going pretty quick, or I'm kind of following you, but we're going, let's give it a number, right? We're going at 700 words per minute. You say, like, hang on a second, can we just tone it back here to 300 words per minute? So let's have a look, 300 words per minute, right? Or if it goes. I guess it's not really going. But this idea of, can we just sort of through a basic interaction ask each other, let's slow down a second, because I feel like we're maybe going too fast to where we're not getting the full comprehension, right? And on the back page, if you sort of look to the back, I explain this a little bit further, okay? If you could, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to read this back page, take out all of your standing waves data, have your notebook ready, and we are going to start our Harkness in a few minutes considering this cup challenge, okay? Can everybody start with green cup on top, then yellow and blue on the bottom? Okay. Let's take out all of our standing wave stuff. Let's have a piece of paper and a pencil out, and let's be ready in just a couple minutes. Okay. Sorry, Kathy, did you want to? I feel bad that. Thank you for videoing. Did you want to add anything while we're here?